Hi, Thanga. Thank you for making the time. I think this is a good outcome of the discussion we have had in your office about the open source projects you are doing. And this definitely caught my attention. So, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone and then we can get started without wasting too much time?
Yeah. Hi, Pratik. Yeah, this is Tanga Prakash. So I work as security director of security research as well as outreach in sector technologies. So I handle this open source and outreach related activities in the sector. So
Great.
yeah,
So, what are you trying to achieve here, Thanga? Let's get into the topic. What are you trying to achieve with StackPod VEX Studio? And I hear it's open source. Correct me if I'm mistaken.
yes, correct. It is open source. Yeah, that's
Great.
it.
So, what are
Exactly.
you trying to achieve? Let's get into it.
So this Vex Studio. So, what is VEX, first of all? So, it is a vulnerability exchange document. So, what it does is it helps in the open source maintainers to write a document saying that whether their product is vulnerable to a particular library or not. Because only the open source maintainers will know they might be using a component, something called as log4j in their product or a tool, but only the maintainer or developer will know that whether well, they are using a particular vulnerable component or not. Because the traditional security scanners mostly scans the vulnerability and detects a vulnerability in a way that whether the particular version is available, it flags it as vulnerability. Maybe the particular component might not be used at all, but still so many vulnerabilities will get detected and it will get flagged. But this document, particular document, helps in reducing that vulnerability detection in a way that it will make it accurate, I would say. Because,
Exactly.
yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. I
yeah,
stopped you there.
yeah. So what it does is it gives a guided steps for the developers to write a document. It finds the exist. Let's say that you use a log4j. It finds what are all vulnerabilities available for log4j, and it provides a guided steps to say that are you using this vulnerable component or not. You have to answer saying yes. If yes, then where are you using it? Is it particular? Is it in a is the vulnerable function is being called or not? So it helps in writing this document for the maintainers.
No, amazing. That's very interesting. And are you doing this or are you creating this VX document for both commercial softwares and open source or one of them? What's your target scope?
It is mainly for open source vendors, sorry, open source maintainers, because all this open source maintainers will use a lot of libraries as part of their product. And currently, there is no proper way to say that whether the used library is vulnerable or not from them. So, this is document is the right approach for them to communicate, saying that are my product is vulnerable or not. Yeah.
Right. No, that's amazing. And Tanga, let me ask you a funny question. It's been what 3 minutes of recording, and you have not used the word AI at all yet. So, what is the reason, right? Because nowadays we are so bored of hearing the word AI, AI, AI in every conversation. You don't have to answer it, but generally, because people like to throw the word AI everywhere, almost everywhere.
Yeah, right. But this product, I mean, let's say this tool is not developed or not particularly related to AI one, and um,
I'm
but
sure.
it,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yes, you can ask. Yeah,
No, no, I was just saying that beyond the AI hype, a lot more things can be accomplished using the non-AI technologies as well,
yeah,
right?
correct.
Why
Yes,
do
right.
all the
Yeah,
big guns of AI for every small use case?
yes, right.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Handing the mic back to you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what this tool does. We'll quickly go through the tool. It is currently available on the GitHub link where you can just go to the GitHub, and it is within a few steps you can just clone the repository and install it and start running it. It also accepts multiple options. One is even if you It accepts a PURL format. It can be any type of application, whether it is, I mean, any type of language, whether it is Python or Node or Java based application language libraries, it supports all of them. Or you can also pass the SBOM where it takes the input as an SBOM and it does the triage. So yeah, we'll see the in action.
Yes, let's do that. And I think the QR code is there for the GitHub repository of OpenVX, so feel free to scan it and you will be redirected to the GitHub repository.
Okay. Yeah, let's see the demo. So once you install the Wix Studio locally, so you will get a command like this Wix-Studio, and there is an option there which is assess. Here I'm using package URL. That's why this option is there. There are other options you can explore it. So since it is famous, Log4j is famous. I have taken this as an example for you to try it out. I mean for this demo. So what I'm trying to do is, let's say as a open source maintainer, I have used this Log4j in one of my application. So I'm going to triage this now and create a Wix document saying that whether it is vulnerable for my application or not. So let's see that. So once you enter this, so what it does is it creates an SBOM and it checks the public repositories whether what all vulnerabilities or known vulnerabilities exist for the particular package as well as the version I have mentioned here. So for this log4j 2.14.1, these are all the vulnerabilities exist, and these are all the advisory links as well as the CVID which is there, and what component it is affected and what version and what is the severity. So all the information is will be fetched online. So once the information is collected, what it does is it asks you a series of questions for each vulnerability. So here, if you see here, for the CVE 2026 34480, it is affected. This is the summary of that, and it is a question it is asking: is the vulnerable component is actually used at the runtime? So as a developer, I would know in my product or tool whether I have used it or not. Based on that, I can answer it. Does the package specifically call the function or use the identifier speech? Yes. Can the vulnerable code path can be triggered using an external or user controlled input? Yes, I would say. Now I have to say some reason why it is vulnerable. So it is we have marked it as affected here.
Okay.
Okay. Confirm the decision whether it is affected. Yes. Now comes to
And
the next
tell,
CVV.
tell
Yes.
me one question. So, how are these questions getting populated? Do you have to feed those questions as a user, or is it the open source tool that does it?
So it's the open source tool does it. It based on the CWEs as well as the depends on the vulnerability what is detected. So it asks the question. It changes depends on the vulnerability as well as CWE. Yeah, it automatically
Okay.
finds a question and asks. And
It's not
yeah, just
that.
to say there is no AI is involved in it. So even for identifying question,
Thank-
yes.
See, but you finally use the word AI, right? Even if you want to say that it's not involved.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a total offline application. So yeah,
Offline application.
yes. So for this, for now, I would say I would skip it. So it marked it as under investigation. Yes. Comes to the next CV. For now, for this demo, let's skip everything. So since there are seven CV detected for it, so you have to go through and answer every one of them.
Yeah.
So if you see here, I have answered all of them. I marked one as affected and all other one it is under investigation right now. It is marked it, and it has created a document here. This is a local document. If you go through this document, whatever the input we have given, all this information is there specifically to each CV. So now this document will be submitted from us, my vendor. Like since I'm maintaining it, I can submit this document for a particular version of my product, saying that whether the product is vulnerable or not. So the open source scanners can take up this document as an input, scan as part of their scanning, and detect whether it is vulnerable or not. So it is very simple as that. Yeah.
Wow, very interesting. And where do you use this? OpenVEX, it comes along with the package of the open source, or how do they know that this is the official VEX for this open source package?
So every vendor has to publish their own VEX, because only since the maintainers or developers only will know about that. So they have to publish from their side that, let's say I have an application called ABC and I'm using Log4j under that. So this application I need to say for this version, this is the VEX document I'm publishing saying that whether I'm affected or not. There are open source, sorry, VEX scanners are there which takes this as an input and scans the vulnerability and detects whether it is vulnerable or not.
Yeah, makes sense.
There are already few similar tools are there, open source tools. Some of them covers, it has few capabilities, partially it is there, and some of them does the code signing also for the VEX document. Currently, the VEX Studio covers most of them. There are phase two is also available, which we will take it up in upcoming days. That will get code signing and other things. And the other format also we will support it in the future. Yeah.
No, this is great. This is very useful. I'm pretty sure it will be very useful for the open source maintainers as well, because there's a struggle to develop these documents and build these documents. So definitely very useful.
Yes. Right.
Great. Now, anything else that you would like to show, Thanga? Otherwise, I think we have pretty much covered everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah. Mostly we covered, I guess. The one thing I can just last say, recently also there is one, EU Cyber Resilience Act was stated saying that every open source maintainers were supposed to submit a VEX document for their tool within a particular date is mentioned. This can get enhanced, I mean extended. But yeah, this is becoming more or less a standard for any application gear after. So
Got it.
this will
Got it.
help them for sure.
Absolutely. And how are you promoting this event? I know it's an open source, so you're not doing it for commercial purposes. But what's the point of doing, creating a tool and not letting people know about it? So what are you doing to increase the awareness of this tool?
So we are
Sorry if I asked you a marketing question. That is not your domain. I can understand.
yeah.
Yeah. But I think the link is available on your main website,
Yeah, it
segpod.com.
is the, yeah. We also have a website as well as we also have written a blog, and our marketing team also helps in works in making this reach people. Yeah,
Sounds good. Sounds good. No, this is great. Thank you, Thanga Prakash, for making the time. This was really helpful. And we'll publish this on our demo room, and I'm sure a lot of people would find it very useful. Thank you
yeah.
very much once again for building this one and talking about this platform.
Thank you, Pratik. Yeah, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah.